Good morning. The SGX Nifty suggesting a bit of a give back for our markets. We've been running higher for last 8 consecutive days. This morning, the start could be subdued, slightly with a negative bias, down currently 0.3%. But this week itself, the Nifty's rallied 1.6%, while the sensex, the mid-cap index, has gained 2.2%. Let's drill it down to individual stocks. A research team is standing by with the CNBC-TV18 list of top 10 stocks for the day. Mangalam, starting with you, the auto sales numbers which trickled in post-market hours?
That's correct. So, filling in for Sonia here, let's start with Eicher Motors. The total sales for Royal Enfield, which is more important for them, were close to around 70,800 odd units. The street was working with a number of around 73,800 units. So there was a mild miss as against street expectations. Total sales on a year-on-year basis were higher by 37% as against expectations of over 40% growth out there. However, for Hero MotoCorp, the numbers were absolutely in line with expectations. 3.9 lakh units was the poll of 3.92 lakh units, and this despite a dip in the exports by about 46 odd percent. But for them, the contribution of exports is much lower as against Bajaj Auto. So see some green on Hero Moto, a mild red perhaps on Eicher Motors.
Yeah, all right. Thanks a lot for that, Mangalam. Well, let's hop across to Vivek. He's stopping by to tell us about PB Fintech. There's a large trade that's expected. Vivek?
Well, good morning. That's right. It's another block deal that's expected as far as PB Fintech or Policy Bazaar. Now, what we understand from our sources is that, a block deal of close to almost 1,000 crore rupees, 5.1% of the total equity is expected to change hands. SoftBank, that holds almost 10.1% stake in PB Fintech, is the likely seller in this particular block deal. Block deal is expected at a 4.6% discount to yesterday's closing price. So the floor price is at around 440.2 rupees a share. And now remember, SoftBank holds almost 10.17% stake in the company. So they're exiting half their holding. Now, this isn't the first fund that's actually likely to sell shares as far as PB Fintech is concerned. Earlier, once the anchor lock-in ended on November 11, 2022, Tiger Global too has significantly paid stake in the company. Tiger Global also holds, stake in the company via two of its funds.
Okay, I mean, some of these funds themselves are in a fair bit of a mess, a bit of a pickle, so as to speak. SoftBank especially, and generating, I guess, revenues and cash wherever they can via older legacy investments. Vivek, thanks very much for that. Now, there is a windfall tax revision which has happened. Sonal is here to tell us how much and what's the impact. Sonal, hi.
Hi, good morning, Prashant. Well, this time it's positive for all these oil producers and Reliance Industries as well. The windfall tax has seen a considerable cut. On crude petroleum, it has been halved from 10,200 rupees per ton to 4,900 rupees per ton. On diesel, this export duty has been reduced to 8 rupees per litre from 10.5 rupees per litre. On petrol, it continues to be zero, and ATF export duty continues to be at 5 rupees per litre. Yes, it is a big cut. It is slightly lower than the fall in crude prices that we saw in the last fortnight. CLSA says that cut in windfall tax on domestic crude oil production is $9 per barrel, which compares with $10 per barrel fall that we have seen in crude oil prices. So it's $1 per barrel lesser than what was expected. However, it is still positive for the likes of ONGC and Oil India because the post-tax realization is still kept at $78 per barrel, while these stocks are factoring in oil realizations at $45 to $50 per barrel. So there is a considerable upside still from here on. So that's why these stocks should be in the green today.
Sonal, thank you very much for that. The current windfall tax is $8 per barrel, and this compares with $40 per barrel that was announced in June of 2022. So we've seen a sharp 80% reduction in that. And of course, compared to the prior revision, as Sonal pointed out, it's $8 versus $17. That's a cut of $9. But you're watching NMDC?
Well, that's right. NMDC, the operational update that came wasn't too great, actually. The production number was up by close to around 8%, but the sales offtake number, that is, was up only around 5.5% to around 6%. Also, that was a little bit disappointing, according to me. And they're running behind the clock, actually. Year to date, the sales volume is down by close to around 10%. So it'll be very difficult for them to reach anywhere close to that 45 million tons that they were talking about at the start of it. So a little bit disappointing on that front. And also just want to alert our viewers that yesterday the big news was that the government has invited expression of interest for the Nagarnar steel plant. Remember, that's not housed currently in the listed entity. That's in the demerged entity that should list in the next couple of months or so. Just note that. And NMDC will be given an option to buy 10% stake. So capital allocation was yet again continued. So the global setup is quite positive for metals, but maybe NMDC could be a bit of an underperformer because of the weaker than expected operational performance. All right,
we'll keep track of that, Nigel, today. Now, Westlife should be in focus, and they've laid out a plan for the next 5 years. A big ambition. Mangalam, good morning.
Good morning. Big ambition, and if the last couple of plans have something to go by, they go ahead and actually meet it as well, or at least get very close to it. So that should be a big positive, because for 2027, the vision for them is sales of anywhere between 4,000 to 4,500 crores. And remember, FY22 sales was just around 1,500 crores, so that's something that they're looking at. 18 to 20% EBITDA margins. FY22, of course, the EBITDA margins were 11.8 odd percent. They target high single-digit same-store sales growth. 580 to 630 total new restaurants from 337 right now, which implies that 40 to 55 stores would be added every year versus the current run rate of around 23 to 24 odd stores. Importantly, they see long-term potential of over 1,000 stores. And Prashant, if you go down south, you would enjoy it, because the next leg of growth will come from stores in the southern part of the country and will come in from fried chicken itself. They target 100% of their entire strength to be McCafe, as against 80% right now, which would mean that McCafe revenue contribution would increase from 12% to around 15 to 18%. And this, of course, is a margin accretive product for them. So all things going well for the burger player. Let's see where it goes.
Mangalam, our stomachs are growling, as you mentioned, fried chicken.
It's margin accretive for them, accretive for our stomach and the waistlines as well.
Yeah, I think Mangalam, by the way, is going to. There's a treat due, right?
There's a treat
today.
There's a treat today.
Later
There's
today.
a treat by Mangalam and Sonal. I think at around 11:30 is what we are looking forward to.
Well, I've been told that fries are being paid for by me, the burgers, etc. Prashant has been.
Now we've said this on national TV, Mangalam, so you've got to follow through.
Done and dusted, I give.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, I've been told that the producers are also looking forward to it. Thanks very much, Mangalam. It's Westlife for you. Now, Yes Bank and Paytm are the other ones which have been focused. Paytm, by the way, had their analyst meet, investor meet yesterday in Mumbai, and there is at the margin some optimism which seems to be emerging. Surabhi's got both those on a list. Surabhi, hi, morning.
Hi, the first stock on my radar today is Yes Bank, where RBI has given a conditional approval to Carlyle and Advent to pick up 9.9% stake each. The investors and bank will engage with RBI to seek an early resolution on the conditions to procure the final approval. The bank has not mentioned what the conditions are, but overall it seems like a positive news flow for Yes Bank. Next is Paytm, where the company held its analyst meet yesterday and it explained the payment lending business. The company is confident about achieving strong growth and adjusted EBITDA break-even by September 2023. It doesn't see any significant regulation risk to affect its payments margins. The net payment margin should remain broadly steady even if there is a change in MDR, which is merchant discount rate. On credit cards, the management alluded to a significant pickup in business momentum. On commerce business, the management disclosed that the GMV was close to 2,000 crores and the revenue was close to 130 crores. On profitability, it expects to become free cash flow positive in the next 12 to 18 months.
Super, thanks for that, Surabhi. Well, let's move on and let's first do a quick recap then of all the stocks that we just covered. Stocks with positive news flow include Hero MotoCorp, Westlife, Yes Bank, Paytm, ONGC Oil India and Reliance Industries. While stocks with negative news flow include Eicher Motors, PB Fintech and NMDC.
Let's take stock of what's happening in the world of commodities. Manisha Gupta joins in as always. Manisha.
Well, thank you so much for that. I'm looking at commodities actually trying to post a weekly gain across board, especially with the dollar index now below 105 at a 4-month low. So whether it's the crude oil prices, which didn't close November on a positive note, but for the week they're up by nearly 7%. And the markets are now watching out for the OPEC and allies meeting on 4th of December. The European Union has asked its 27 members to approve price cap on Russian oil at $60 a barrel now, while the current price of Russian oil is at 66 a barrel. And the proposed cap also comes with an adjustment mechanism to keep the prices 5% below its market prices. So a lot expected to happen in the first week of December itself. The metal prices, though, have continued to gain up. Almost all the metals are headed for a weekly gain. Copper is trading at around 3-week highs, gold at 3-month highs, silver at 6-month highs. You have zinc, aluminum also posting nearly 7 to 8% of gains in this week. So the metals party continues.